It's Friday. It's 4 o'clock. It is short fuse. Hope you are well, ladies and gents. Hope you've had a good week so far. Weekend is coming, always the greatest time of the year. Any weekend is a good time. Particularly this weekend for Johnny. It's going to be out and about. You'll see Johnny in some of his, what shall I say, sartorial elegance later on, so that'll be good. Shout out this week to Pave, P-A-V-E. So he's known to me. He has just released a little music video. Or his rapping is going on. You'll probably be able to hear a bit of it underneath me. And this was edited by our very own Alex. So wishing him all the best. He's a rap star that's going to hopefully make some money for me. Isn't that right, Jonas?
He's a rap star that's going to go far.
He's going to go far. He's a rap star. He's going to go far. Nice one, Jonas. Excellent. So there you go. So a bit of that shout out there to Pave Purple 3, to Fraser as well. Right. Before we start getting into things this week, hopefully you've seen our brand new website. So we redesigned the website over the last few months, taken quite a time, and hopefully you'll be able to see a bit of it on the screen now. If you haven't been on it, go on it. You'll see it's a new look. We've got a breaking news tab. Hopefully the fonts are better, pictures are better. It's optimized for both mobile and for your tablets. And big thanks to Eugene from Slick Implementations who helped design it. And Freddie, even you like it, don't you, Freddo? He loves it, see? He's been working away, old Fredster, putting it all together. So, we've got a new look, we've got a new website, we want you to get involved. We'll be doing lots of live stuff on it. You'll be able to hopefully watch this right now on our website. And remember, every morning, you'll be able to see the glorious Jonathan in full view. Well, not quite full view, but on the website. We'll also be working out a system that hopefully you'll be able to use it for things like booking in if you're one of our sponsors or delegates to our events, and more on events later on. Right, let's get on with the news. So, the story of the week. Well, it's actually two stories in one. Let's start off with the first bit, which is British Gas. So British Gas announced on Tuesday that it was having a pay rise. Yes, a pay rise for all of us. Our prices are going up. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. So 5.5%. That's what's going up in the price rise for all of us. And then just 2 days later, EDF said they were going to put up their prices by 2.7%. So let's go through a bit of that. So British Gas, price hike 5.5%. Sounds very bad. Boo. EDF price house 2.7%. Bad, but not as bad. Less of a boo. Let's work out the figures though. So the average price rise for BG customers, and this will affect about 4 million odd, is going to be around about £5 a month. So 60 quid, yeah? When it comes to EDF, it's going to be £16 a year, and it affects around about sort of 1 and a bit million people. So it's a lot fewer. So you'd think that the actual price rise for British Gas is worse. But look at the actual average standard variable tariff figures. So after the rise, BG will go to 1,161, and EDF will be 1,158. So by my maths, that's £3 difference. So it looks like it's different, but it isn't. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. So British Gas had slightly lower prices to begin with. Are they right to put up prices? Well, we could all say, no, you shouldn't put up prices. That's wrong. It's unfair. And I'm not trying to belittle it. £5 a month for a lot of people is a lot of money. But we've got to look at it from the point of view of the energy companies. And they say one of the things that's happened is obviously costs have gone up because the government is introducing the price cap. Now, the price cap hasn't actually come into play. But what they're doing is what any company will do. If you say, right, you know what, you're going to be limited how much you earn. You're going to go, okay, well, if I can't make money that way, what I'm going to do is fix products, I'll put the prices up so that I'm covering myself for the loss of revenue I'll get in the other things. And so that's where it's all gone wrong here. I think that these price rises, I mean, you could say it's a bit of bullshit from, the corporate mouths where BG have said, oh, we reluctantly did it. It could be like, oh, yeah, we're really sorry we had to do it. We still did it. But I do have some empathy in the sense that these businesses are now looking at what is a regulated market in the domestic space. So if you regulate things, you do end up, it looks like we're getting a better deal, but I don't know if we really will. And these prices have to go up because someone's got to pay for it. And at the end of the day, who's going to pay for it? You and me. That's all that's going to happen. So that's that. Our next story is all about London and wind. We have a lot of wind in this office, as we know. Plenty goes on at lunchtime and a lot of it at 5 p.m. Anyway, and that's good because it's not on company time, is it, Johnny? So that's good. Never on company time. So this is a story that John has found, which was quite weird. So some reports come out saying that for London, which is 8.8 million people, and we need about 45 million megawatts of power, you'd need, get this, 1,600 square meters, 1,600 square kilometers of wind turbines. Bear in mind, London is about 1,600. So the whole of London would have to be covered with wind turbines to power London. I thought that was quite good. For Tokyo, the figure's even worse. So they'd need 10,000 square kilometres of turbines to power it. Barcelona, however, much smaller city, only 299 square kilometres. What does this all tell us? Well, it's just an exercise to say that actually you'd need a lot more infrastructure if you're going to go renewable. We all know that. And we were just discussing in the office earlier this week about whether fusion would ever happen and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you look at it, nothing wrong with offshore wind, nothing that wrong with onshore wind, except people don't like onshore wind because of the noise and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it does show you the scale of what we're facing. London is not even that big a city, okay? 8.8 million is not huge compared to somewhere like a Mumbai or a Mexico City, yeah? So these huge conurbations in the developing world. So imagine how much power these cities would need. And you can say, okay, we're a bit more technologically advanced, so we've got more drain. But the point of this report shows you do need a lot more renewable infrastructure if we're going to make this transition. And we've got a long way to go. And then finally on this section, we're talking about renewables, a bit of a throwback to coal. Now this really hit me. So we started Energy Live News in 2010. In 2012, 58% of our daily energy needs in this country was met by coal. Do you know what it was at the beginning of this year? 9%. That's right, 9%. That's incredible, okay? That is unbelievable how much it's dropped. So you'd think coal is dead. You know, we're closing down all our coal power plants. Thermal is, fossil fuels, well, we can get away with gas just for now because we have to, but coal is evil and dirty, blah, 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 blah. But a study has found that actually coal is now vital as our UK backup, our power reserve. So if you remember a few weeks back, although it's been miserable every day, how miserable has it been? I mean, the whole of April so far has just been grey, apart from one day. Robert loves it because it's cold, but anyway, the rest of us hate it. But if you remember back in March, we had the Beast from the East and then the Mini Beast and whatever it came. And what happened then was that because we had such a demand on our gas, you might remember the story about a warning from National Grid about, we were going to run out of gas. Our coal reserve came into play. And in fact, we had 10.5 gigawatts of thermal reserve in coal power. So coal, whatever you may think of it being nasty and we should get rid of it, we do need it. We still need it. Maybe not now in the day-to-day generation of power, but we certainly need it when it comes to our backup. And that, I think, is quite interesting. Plenty more stories later. We'll be doing the Hack Hutch this week. But now let's move on to this week's Viewpoint. EVs. Now, what do you think about an EV? Everyone would say it's a great thing, it's brilliant, got loads of cars coming in, everyone's moving away from petrol and diesel. The diesel going to be, phased out by 2040. And it's clean. It's the clean fuel. Electric car. Round here, loads of poshos live round here. Johnny loves that. And loads of them driving Teslas. Massive things, huge, and they're all plugging in, having their nice mung bean lattes in Planet Organic and driving their enormous Teslas. So they're all doing great things for the environment. Of course, it's an EV, it's electric, there's no emissions, it's blah, blah, blah. Or is it? Is it really that clean? Is it really that green, actually? So ID Tech EX is a research group who's looked at how clean electric vehicles really are. And what they found is that although you can obviously say that the emissions are pretty much negligible, EVs are not that clean. Think about the things that go into making an EV, particularly in the batteries and the electronics. They are just jam-packed full of diodes and, chips and motherboards and circuit boards. They're basically just electronic devices with a battery. So arsenic, cadmium, lithium, cobalt, all things that are rare, all things that are being mined, all things that have huge environmental damage, and also all things that are pretty toxic. So you could say that, and the report says, the levels of these chemicals are very low, okay? Let's not be, there's not masses of them, but there's a small amount of each of these in the batteries, in the cars. But as we get more and more EVs, obviously that means more of these chemicals, more of these pollutants that are out there. Things that take millions of years to break down. Things that will be an issue of how we dispose of batteries in the future. And so these researchers said, although the headline figure is an EV is cleaner, is it really? And is it that good for the environment? There are options out there. They've talked about things called non-toxic supercapacitors. So using different forms of electrochemicals that are less harmful to power these cars. And of course, banning the most harmful chemicals that might be part of it. I really think this is an issue we have to look at. I have family in Calcutta, and I think I've mentioned it before. You go to a city like that, it's just disgusting, right? There's loads. Beijing, you go to Mexico, you go to Sao Paulo, you go to Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta. Fumes, there's the diesel, there's particulates. London, we've got toxic charge. We all know petrol and diesel cars aren't good for the environment. But are EVs really that clean for the environment? They are cleaner, but we need to look at what we're doing with them right now. In an old-fashioned car, you can take it apart, you can take the spares, you can do things with it. What will we do with these cars? Literally, there's nothing you can basically take apart. Now, you might be able to pull them around and recycle them in a different way, but the batteries, they're pretty toxic things, yeah? A car's fuel tank is just a piece of metal shaped into a tank. Okay, it may have had fuel in it, but once you get rid of it, you can just melt that down. You can't just get rid of those batteries and just chuck them into something and crush them up. Also, where is the power coming from? At present, all of the power is still coming mainly from fossil fuel, from gas, that sort of generation, a bit of coal, as we've heard. The materials that these cars are made of, they generally come from the petrochemical industry. Our plastics come from that. A lot of our kind of silicons and stuff are byproducts of these things. There's loads of petrochemical elements that are put into our EVs. They're bonded with special resins. They've got loads of things in them. I'm not saying that electric vehicles are bad. All I am saying is that this study is very, very interesting because it shows you that they're not the panacea we may think they will be. I'm sure we will get there. We will get a cleaner car very soon. Maybe in the next 5-10 years, cars will be absolutely brilliantly clean, But these EVs aren't as yet. They are still massive hunks of electronics with rare earth elements trundling around our streets. That's my view. What's yours? Give us a shout. Let us know. Fuse at Energy Live News. Use the hashtag, and we shall find out what you think. Back to normality. Well, not quite. It's the Hack Hutch. you haven't got a mic on. You have got a mic on.
As always. Come prepared.
You've come prepared.
Hello.
I think they know who you are by now. Have you had a busy week?
Yes, very busy. Pre's not here to cover
Pre's
my back,
hello,
so-
Pre. Enjoying America? Look what he's doing.
Yeah, I've gone off the tracks.
No,
Off the rails.
Off the rails. I won't talk about your jacket. I like it, by the way.
Yeah, it's new. It's
I mean,
very,
it shoots
very
your eyes.
expensive.
Shoots your eyes. Is the gold flashing, Robert? His jacket is so bright, it's dazzling the camera. I quite like it, though. It's just got a certain... Keep it on.
It's my disco jacket.
It's got a bit... Is he disappearing through the middle of it? If he isn't, then it's fine. Okay, anyway, stories. Because the audience are bored already by this.
Yeah, stories.
Stories.
They've
Starting
been
off
very
with-
messy this week.
Oi, oi! Oi, oi. Oh, hey, look at that.
Oh,
It's
no.
completely see-through. I like this. Let's do it. Right, so we've got Messi.
I'm a
going
disembodied
through.
head.
Hey, look, come on. Can you just put yourself next to him? No. You've got to lean that way. No, the other
Oh,
way.
my God.
You go the other way, to that way. Yeah, look. Like that. Put your arm out now. Like the other arm, you fool. Okay. Anyway, Messi's there. You can
Lionel
see him.
Messi.
Lionel Messi is
yeah.
like, he's a ghostly apparition. I love this. This is great. We'll keep this on. Anyway, go on.
So the UN has...
This is a serious news story. This really is.
Lionel Messi has got a new fan, and it's the UN.
Yes.
They've made him the ambassador for sustainable tourism around the world.
He's just so see-through, isn't he? So transparent on that.
Yeah, you can see right through this scheme,
Yes.
to be honest.
Anyway, yes.
So
He's got
basically,
nothing else to do because he got knocked out of the Champions League.
yeah, so he's moping
Oh,
around, and
he's
they
moping
said,
around.
"Go on, Lionel, go pick up some litter,
Yeah.
and inspire others to do the same." So basically,
Go
that
on.
means that
Serious point
he
is-
travels around a lot
Yes.
because he's a footballer.
Of course.
So basically, he's saying to people to encourage them, when you go to a country, leave it a better place than when you arrived. Instead of, I don't know what people do when they go on holiday that's so emissions intensive, but he's saying pick up litter if you go to the beach, don't leave litter.
Be like Lionel. Don't be messy,
Try and get the train instead of taking, I don't know, a polluting taxi or something like that.
he says as he jets in
Yeah.
in his private jet.
Yeah.
Anyway, fine. That's Lionel. Next one.
Yeah, so the next story is actually about wind
He's
turbines.
come back in now. Here we go. Let's see. Go on.
Kind of.
Hey! Right, okay. Right,
I always
wind
wanted to
turbines.
go to a wind farm.
This is good. This is like that become like, you could be like, when Harry Potter first came out, the first one.
Harry
The-
Potter?
you
You
could
can
be the
put a little
headless-
scar on my
I
head.
know,
if
you
you
could be like
want.
the headless, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Headless Nick. Headless Nick, well done.
Nearly
Freddo.
headless, Nick.
Nearly headless Nick. Anyway, carry on. Wind turbines. I did a bit about wind turbines.
Yes, wind turbines. Okay, so basically there's a new wind turbine. The developers Vattenfall say is the most powerful in the world.
Claim.
Yeah, they say it is. They claim it is. I believe it is from my research.
Okay.
But so
What's so big about it? What's so good?
it's off the coast of Aberdeen. They're
Right.
installing 11 of these turbines. They're slightly different. So two of the turbines are 8.8 megawatts, which are the most
Wow.
powerful.
That's pretty big.
And the other 9 are 8.4 megawatts. So the 8.8 megawatt ones, I found it pretty interesting. It's just one revolution of the blades is enough to power a home for 24 hours, which is crazy. And the diameter of the blades spinning is
Yeah.
actually bigger than the London Eye as well. So that puts it into perspective.
Have they built these things then? Or they're
The
building?
first one's been built. You can see it on screen there. That's just them finishing
You see it
off.
through him.
Yeah.
look
If
at
I
that.
lift up
Look at that. Now we can see it. Look. Yeah,
Yeah.
step out. Put your head in the middle of it.
by
No, go the other way. Go the other way. There you go. Right, look at that. It's like you've got a little antenna. Hang on, let's just put you down a bit. Just go down. No,
Ears.
yeah, turbine ears. Excellent. Okay, and then
So
finally...
the first one's built, and it's
Anyway,
off the coast of Aberdeen.
good.
If you
Yeah,
want to
they're
go see
massive.
it.
Right, lovely.
Yep, and the other story is about how even though we hear lots about the ice melting,
Yes.
there
Now,
was a-
I do like this story. Go on.
well, it turns out. Okay, so at first it looks like it's conflicting with the reports that the ice is melting all the time, and it basically says that in Antarctica, snow has actually increased by 1/10 over the last 200 years. So snow's increased by quite a lot. 1/10 is a lot because there's a lot of snow there.
10% more. That's huge.
Yeah, it is
Right.
huge. But so that sounds like maybe they're questioning
Global warming.
the rhetoric we hear about global warming. But in reality, they're saying that because global warming is heating the atmosphere up,
Right.
the air is getting moister,
Right.
more moist, and and
You don't
that's
believe he did a degree in English, did you?
and that's increasing the amount of precipitation.
Okay, so, all right, so what they're
So this
saying
is
is...
evidence that global warming is happening.
It's weird though,
according to
isn't
them.
it? Because everyone would say the ice sheets melting, the whole Greenland cap,
Yeah.
all of that we've seen, you know, big chunks of it going off into the sea. But what they're saying is the other effect of it is, although that looks like it's getting, making the ice less, by warming you get more rain. More rain falls as more
Yep, it falls as
icy
snow
rain
there. Yeah.
and falls as snow.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that doesn't mean that the global warming isn't happening.
No, they said even that change, that locks in more water to the region because obviously it's not, it locks in more water, but that's still massively offset by the glaciers and the ice cliffs that are shrinking away, apparently.
Okay.
But they, I don't know, they explain anything away, don't
Well,
they, these
one we
greenos?
can- they explain it all. Anyway, that's it for you.
Okay, goodbye.
How about your stories?
Oh, yes. Email us at stories@energylivenews.com.
You can also now, if you go to the bottom of the website, it just says, got a story, just press that, and it goes straight to him.
Yeah.
Wearing this ridiculous jacket.
And the Oracle, it goes straight to the Oracle and we'll solve all the problems.
All right, goodbye, Jonathan.
Goodbye.
You've done a great job.
As always.
I lied there, constantly. Okay, brilliant. So, lots going on there. Right, let me talk about what's happening. So, camera's moving. Oh, it's not moving. Rob's doing two things today at once. It's good. Okay, so first of all, don't forget we've got Energy Live Future coming up. In a second, we'll play an invite from Bas Lansdorp, our prime speaker. The reason I want you to know about this is we've been calling you this week, end users. We've been talking to you, been sending out emails. Please come along. We've got rid of half of our slots. Remember, it's invite only. And we've got a really good agenda for you now. It's all coming together. You'll see it on the website. Now, here's the invitation from the man who wants to take us to Mars.
Hello, I'm Bas Lansdorp. I'm CEO and co-founder of Mars One. I'll be speaking at Energy Live Future in June in London, and I hope you will be there. I'll be speaking about Mars, about why we should go there, how we will go there, about how we will get energy on Mars. It's going to be an exciting event. Join us.
I've heard his idea of what he's going to talk about, and I will tell you this, it is going to be cracking. You know, the guy is a real character, he's very charismatic, so, you know, don't miss that. Get yourself registered for that. Here's the other dates for your diary. So, as I said, June the 7th, Energy Live Future at the Siemens Crystal in Docklands. And then just a couple of weeks later, on the 28th of June, it is Telca Night, Energy Live Consultancy Awards. Our deadline is fast approaching. You've got about 2 weeks left. It is the 23rd of April to get your entries in, brokers and consultants. And then later in the year, on the 31st of October, Halloween, we have Energy Live Energy Live Expo, which will be looking at, as I said, the issues around energy as we enter the final stage of Brexit. We'll have lots of really important content for you guys out there, and we'll be discussing some of the bigger political issues that will be driving things like the advancement of blockchain, the advancement of energy in general, and research that's going on. How will it work for our businesses? That'll be part of it as we enter this vital stage of Brexit. Well, that's pretty much it. Are there any shout-outs, Frederick?
Yes, Vicky Ellis says Johnny has a fantastic jacket.
Vicky Ellis, hello Elster, how are you? She says Johnny has a fantastic jacket. Yes.
And everything else.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything else though, Vix. Not like you. Not that kind of reporting nous that you had.
I am the full package.
Yes. Anyone else?
Yes, some bloke from Essex asked if we missed him yet. I'm not too sure who he is.
A bloke from Essex asked if we miss him yet. I wonder who that might be. George, of course we miss you. Hey? Yeah, I reckon George is working hard. Clearly he's joined this new company. They have no idea about his nocturnal habits, his other habits, and his ability to watch things constantly in his lunch break. So anyway, Georgie, hope you're doing well. Nothing from Corcoran.
Yeah, he said that was a really unashamed plug at the beginning of the show.
Corcoran was giving me some crap about a plug at the beginning of the show. What? Mr. Look at my leg, it got bitten by a very small shark. Although I have to say, do you know what? Let me, hang on. Just for you, Kev. Look. Oh, look. make you feel happy. That no one wanted to wear it. We tried to give it away at a charity shop, and they even said, they came round, Freddie, didn't they? We tried to give some crap away this week, and they said, we are not going to take that. Can you believe it, Kev? What a cracker. Anyway, good stuff. Keep them coming in. Hopefully there'll be more people than just people who know us. But hey, maybe that's all the people who watch it. Right, and then finally this week, this is great. So, get this, the Swedes, famous for ABBA, Volvos, and Nocturnal Habit meatballs, IKEA. They're now creating the first electric road that's fully operational, 1.2 miles of it. Okay, so just over about 1.5 kilometres. Guess how much it cost? Go on, Johnny, guess.
I don't know, around 1 million euros?
Yes, you're right. 1 million euros a kilometre. So yeah, it basically works by a bit like a scale electric. Some of you are far too young to know what that is, but it's these little toy cars that went around a little track and they had a little brush underneath them. It's the same thing. A little brush will come out, go along this groove in the middle of the floor on the road, and then charges your car. We'll have a debit system, so as you're driving, it'll debit you the amount of electricity you're using. It sounds bonkers. They reckon in Sweden, it's not a big country, but they'd need to do 20,000 kilometres. So by my calculation, that's 200 million quid. But hey, you know, Sweden's got a bit of money. But hey, test idea. Looks quite groovy, looks quite funky. Don't need to charge a car, so maybe that'll be the future. Right, that's about it. Do have a good weekend. Pri will be here next week. We'll be welcoming her back. Johnny, I don't know what you're up to next week. Doing something anyway. Rob and I will be over in Madrid, won't we? Ole! So we'll be, actually we're going over for a great trip. We're going to meet some people from Rosatom. So we'll be able to bring you back some idea of what the Russians are doing in the world of nuclear power in Europe as they develop. So plenty of that to come out. Make sure you tune in every morning to the Daily Update. Follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn. Give a shout out to Freddie. He's always manning Twitter and he never gets enough hellos. And we'll see you next week.